You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
I want to talk about news, don't want the drama. From no pretentious media Madonna. I found me a great ganja mama. Cannabis and coffee with Tamarijuana.
Good morning, folks. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm a little tired, to be fair. It was a busy week last week. I have my oldest daughter here, so I've been dealing with all of that. Oh, we're awfully bright this morning. I don't know what's going on. I put the moon behind me because I love the moon. Everybody knows that. But yeah, we're awfully, I don't know what's going on. I thought I had this all lined up. Apparently not. Anyways, not a lot going on. We might cut the show short, a bit short today too, because last week I had to do a rerun because I was running to get my daughter. And this week I've got to go and take her to an appointment at 1 o'clock. But that's okay. There's not a lot going on, to be fair. I'm not sure what news or anything new has really happened in cannabis in the last week. I mean, I've been getting some really decent product from the stores. I'm not going to lie. I'm smoking some micro. It's right out of this local area too. So again, like most of our cannabis is coming from the stores, and it's great. And I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact that I can just go and I don't have to wait 2 days for somebody to show up with CD weed, to be honest. It's not missing that. Jesus, this light is just horrible today. Anyway, sit back. I know I got a dog up my butt. Another one over here. Like, just having one of those moments. No guest again this week because nobody seems to want to come. I don't know. I send out invites. Nobody comes. Nobody shows, nobody calls, nobody writes, nobody bothers. So I just don't bother. I'm just trying. But again, it's been a rough week. Yesterday was Halloween. And yeah, happy Halloween to belated Halloween. It's November 1st today, but yeah, I dressed up for work last night and handed out some candy and stuff, which was fun. Kids did a great job. They carved some pumpkins and did a great job doing that too, which was great. I left instructions for them to do so, and they did it. I came home and there was pumpkins and they had candles, and I was like, you can do this. Like, but I mean, Rihanna's going to be 31 on the 9th of November. It's just that she's been not well for a really long time. So we're just kind of hoping. And she's doing amazing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say she's not. She's doing fucking fabulous. I'm super impressed. Yeah, and I still got a bit of makeup around my forehead here. I didn't have time to get in the shower this morning, but I did get the makeup off. That took an hour to get off. I mean, it took an hour to put it on, and it took an hour to get that crap off my face. And that was just mainly eyeshadow and eyeliner. So an hour to get that crap off my face. Oh my God, I can't do this today. Just having issues. Yeah, everything's an issue today. I don't know what the issues are. Oh, so much. I mean, I can't even get into it because we're supposed to stay non-political on here, right? Supposed to stay like, basically on the realm of just cannabis, and I have a hard time doing that sometimes. And with what's going on right now in this world, it's really hard to stay on topic because there's not a lot of news about cannabis. There's not a lot of things going on in the cannabis world that is making headlines. There's nothing that's a wow moment, right? We got legalization. It's been 5 years since we've had legalization, and there's no really like wow moments anymore. We're going to say, oh, they got this on the news. I mean, sure, like Anderson Cooper just did a great big thing on medical cannabis with Dr. Sim Jib, and that was all over the news 3 weeks ago or a month ago, and it was, big, and it wasn't even that big. But in the States, some of the states are still like really like, oh, it's legal, don't touch the stuff, right? And up here, it's like people come into my store looking for, zigzags or whatever, and they just, and I'm just like, right on, man. I have another store owner, manager, one of the stores comes in all the time. I hand him, here's some ice pot, man, check this shit out. Another one, here's some Canada caps, here, and check this shit out. Like, I'm gifting stuff, which is legal in Canada. I'm not charging for any of it. It's all gifts, which is legal in Canada. You can gift up to 30 grams. So if I'm giving it away, mind your business. And that's all I'm doing is giving it away. I don't have any. I will fully admit I used to help patients. I was listed on Michelle Rainey's Compassion Club, the Southern Alberta Cannabis Club, and we were a compassion club, and I was for a really long time. The legalization changed that. So, but now you can gift it. Where before I did house arrest, dude. I did 6 months house arrest for mailing 4 grams of cannabis to another patient in the mail back in 2010. Yeah, because Taven was born 2009. I got busted in 2010, I think. I had a 10-year firearm prohibition, which was really bullshit too, which ended in August of a couple years ago now. But seriously, and now you can gift 30 grams of cannabis, which I'm grateful for. But I'm one of them, and it'll never go away. Like, I can get a pardon. I can do all these things because it was a trafficking charge. It wasn't a possession charge. It wasn't a misdemeanor summary offense. It was indictable. Why I did 6 months house arrest. I had to go see a probation officer every 2 fucking weeks for 4 grams of fucking weed. Not kidding you. So on that, and like I said, now you can go to a store, buy up to 30 grams, and it's all good. But again, I could have that expunged, or not expunged. They don't even do that anymore. It's sealed, not even sealed. It's like suspended or whatever the fuck they do. Thanks, Harper, for fucking up our fucking pardon system. Anyway, but it's in print. Maclean's magazine did a fucking article on it. So, and I didn't they showed up asking me questions, and I went, how did you even find out about this shit? Somebody, whatever, I don't know how they found out. Anyways, but they did a big article in 2011 or 2012 about it. And it was kind of ripped into law enforcement article about how enforcement is with cannabis and how heavy-handed they were. And that's kind of how it was written. So I could go get a pardon. I sure could, but I can't erase the Maclean's magazine. So it's in print. Just kind of like Google. You can Google my name and all this shit comes up because I've been in the media several times speaking out and advocating for and fighting with the Alberta College of Physicians to get my licensing back in 2012, right before I got my licensing. I had to kind of quit. I started in 2007, but I had to slow back down because I got pregnant with my boy. And I was going for testing and stuff to do, get my diagnosis. But then I got pregnant with Taven. And at that point in time, you're not going to go for a cannabis licensing when you're pregnant. They're just not going to get it. It's going to just be no, right? No doctor in the right mind would sign a pregnant woman for cannabis. Even if it does help, even if it does help with nausea and stuff, there's still studies that say that, and I know there's studies that say it doesn't harm the fetus and stuff. But anyways, it didn't hurt him. But again, he was also born 5.5 weeks premature. Hello, guys. How are you doing today? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that a lot. Hope things are going well out there. Is it cold? It's cold here. I'm not liking it too much. But yeah. So again, back in 2009, when I got pregnant with Taven, I was in the process of trying to learn about, medical cannabis and how to get everything done. And like I said, that kind of halted everything. But once I had him, my doctor and I was living in Tabor, Alberta at the time. And my doctor wasn't going to sign my medical licensing. He said straight out, no, I'm not doing that, but I will help facilitate. And he did write a letter of diagnosis so that I could take that to the doctor in Ontario. So at that point in time, then we were doing a protest in February of 2012 because patients' licensing was taking up to 12 weeks for renewals. And we had a patient, Haley Rose, who was a child at the time and needed her licensing. Like, she was epileptic and they really needed her licensing. So we all jumped on. And one of us, like Deb Stoltz-Giffen from Nova Scotia, Caleb Hubble from from Saskatchewan, myself from Alberta, and Cheryl was, and Haley came up from the coast, and there was a lot of Ontario support, which was, I can't even name the list of them. Amy Brown, Tracy Curley when she was alive still, Al Graham. God, there was like tons of us, and some of us like Al and Robin Bahara that are not with us anymore. Russell and Christine Barth, well, Christine Lowe and Russell Barth were there, Allison Murden. So we had a, yeah, it was, and we had a press conference with Carolyn Bennett, who was the health minister at the time for the Liberal Party, the health critic actually at the time, because this was during the days of Harper. This was not when we had this kind of liberal, like, well, we got legalization through with the liberals. We were fighting the conservative government back then. Harper tried to take our gardens away from us. Harper told us that we were all going to buy from the big licensed corporations, and they started the MMPR. So that was the Canadian Cannabis Coalition too that went to court, and thanks to Jason Wilcox, bless his soul, and John Conroy and a lot of other patients. The ruling is in another name too. It's Alan. Shit, I can't think right now. Anyways, Alan Dull, I think it is. Oh, not Alan Dull. He's a lawyer. I can't remember the guy's name at the moment. Sorry. Anyways, and we had to fight the government again for our grows to come back, and that's when we got the injunction in the British Columbia Supreme Court. We ended up with the injunction, and we got the ACMPR. And that's when the industry kind of had to go, hey, like, what are we going to do with all these big grows now? We got all this stuff. And then we had the change in government. Now, when the change in government came, we had to still lobby. We still had to go. We still had to do consults. We still had to do a lot of work. And the work was done, and we finally got it through in 2019. But again, there's still like, it's not perfect. And there's still these great big licensed producers that are growing, but they've lost a lot of money because the market was for more microcraft. The way it was set up, it should have been everybody that was growing for designated growers and stuff should have been grandfathered in my opinion. It should have just been straight across the board. You're growing already. You have a capacity of how many plants. We'll license you for that. If you want to, get into the system, start your testing. That's how you do these, right? Now they started with all this other shit. Anyway, but it's like I said, it's not perfect, but the microcrafting is really starting to take off a bit, and it's good because, like I said, here in BC, the crafters can go directly to the stores. And what I'm buying is actually a microcraft right going directly to the stores. Oh, no, maybe not this one. Maybe this one's not. I'm not even sure anymore because I did buy some raspberry whatever last week. But this is like a nice size bud. I don't know if I can show it because I got this stupid background on. There we go. There. But that's a nice size bud, right? And it's nice and crispy, and it's pretty dry though. So I try to get my whatever Bonita pads and stuff and put them in a jar as soon as I get it home. But again, we wouldn't have any of this if people wouldn't have lobbied and gone to bat for it and taken the fall for it. Like, fuck, I just still like sit back. In fact, I remember the first time I walked into a legal store, I started crying, to be fair. I thought I just house arrest for this. You guys are selling this openly to an open market, just like a bottle of beer. And for all those years that we looked over our shoulders as compassion clubs, helping patients, making sure they had access to what they needed because there was no stores, right? If you're a patient, you needed edibles. I was making candy. I was baking. I was doing all kinds of shit to help patients. When I lived in Coronation, I had a huge grow. So I had lots of access. It was growing like, a lot. I can't even tell you how much because I don't think we even waited. We just kept growing it. I don't think we cared. But again, like I said, it was just, yeah, and it was heartbreaking. I mean, it was heartbreaking to the point that, like I said, I did 6 months house arrest and I have a criminal record for trafficking. And it can't be, like I said, I could have it expunged. I gotta get a pardon. But that won't make a difference. It's still there, right? Possession, whatever, fuck it. And my possession charges were literally for less than an ounce, like 7 grams for one, I think. The other one was 6 grams. I got busted with cocaine, and that's on there too because I had an issue. It was all possession. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. But now, because of this, and because I don't lie, I fucked myself. Pretty much is what I've done. I fucked myself. because I'm an honest person and I don't lie. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna cut this show like in half today because, like I said, I gotta get my kid out to get a consult for a tattoo. Not in half, but I'm just gonna do 45 minutes and cut it short because I've got to get Rihanna out and I've got another appointment for Taven this afternoon. Like, this is my only day off, so I have to pile everything into one day. But again, like I said, there's not a lot going on. We talk about cannabis pretty freely being able to be accessed now, which is good, like to a point. And again, you have to be particular. And you don't get to see it, you don't get to smell it. And again, I think that's more having to do with COVID before, like because when the stores first opened, they had the little jars and stuff, and you could pick them up. But then COVID happened, and nobody could touch anything, right? So it's really tough to, I go off the opinions of a lot of the people that work there. Like, I go in and ask them, like, so hey man, like, what's good this week? And they'll go, oh well, people are saying they like this and this and that. So I'll take their advice. And to be fair, they've not really ever steered me wrong. It's a good store. I like that, the little Canna Gear store here in town. Actually, I'm going to give them a plug because I really like them and I like the people that work there. It's Green Gear Cannabis. I don't know if you can see that. Is it upside down? There it is. Green Gear Cannabis. Yeah, this is my favorite store in town. Green Gear Cannabis. Anyways, we're on the strip in Cranbrook, BC. Besides, I'm in a meat shop, and there's the Petrocan, and there's also a Thai restaurant and a pizza place. Actually, I should probably give Perry a plug too, because he's not a bad dude. Perry's Pizza. They're besides Perry's Pizza in Cranbrook. Perry's kind of a funny dude, but we like him. His pizzas are good. And what's kind of ironic is the LCB one, when they first said they were not going to put them, put it in liquor stores, right? Because that was one of the first models that they were going to do, is just put it beside the beer in the liquor store. And then they went, maybe that's not such a good idea. So they'd separate them. But in Cranbrook, the first one that went in, the first legal store that went in was, of course, a provincial store. And there's a liquor store. And then there's a pizza joint. And then there's a cannabis store. But that's a franchise. It's a Panago or something there. But again, like, it was funny, but we're not going to put them together. We're just going to put them together. And they did. Anyway, in Cranbrook, to be fair, we've got a population of 20,000. I think we've got 12 stores. So that's one store for every, 200 people. Or whatever it is, 2,000 people. Yeah. So so that's pretty much like evening it out, and that means we have to have everybody in town smoking weed just to stay in those stores. And we do. Everybody does smoke weed here, I think. And there's a lot of people. There always has been, though. Like, this is not like in BC. Like, it's funny because Cranbrook has always been like where you got crappy weed, because all the good weed gets shipped to Alberta for sale, right? It seems that way too. Like I said to the guy, why can't we get any Remos joints? Well, is it on my LOCB list? I says, don't you deal with the micros yourself? Like, can't you just get a hold of them and say, hey man, I want some of your product? Oh, I'm like, you're a manager of a store, dude. Like, we've got this new legislation where you can actually, like, I'm pretty sure you could just maybe send them an email and say, hey man, I like some of your Remos supercharged joints in my store in Cranbrook. Can you send me some? But you have to keep asking the OC or LBD then for it. So can you ask them for the supercharger? I'm not saying I didn't. I had this infused joint the other day. Sorry, I'm wearing my contacts. I have to wear these reading glasses so I can barely see. It's ridiculous. And these are supposed to be contacts with the bifocal so that I can see. Anyway, yeah. So this was I can't remember what it's called. Amber. It's called Amber. GLTO. But it was an infused joint with kefir on the outside. It was pretty tasty. It was good. I think it was also like $12. Anyways, my phone's going crazy. What the hell? Who's texting me? Somebody's texting me. It's probably maybe the tattoo guy. Because Jesus Christ, look at that hair. Ridiculous. No, it's just reminding me of Taven's acupuncture course or thing. Is in 3 hours. See you shortly. So she's nice enough to send me a reminder that my appointment is in 3 hours. I love that, because with my attention deficit brain, I need to have that many reminders. And my Alexa had gone down, and I thought she had died, and I nearly had a heart attack because, I have a reminder on there. Now I'm going to flip out to check on my girlfriend that passed away last week at 2 o'clock every day. And I thought, for God, then it's still there. But I can't find my rock. Oh well, it'll be around here somewhere. I'm very forgetful and I misplace shit all the time, so I'm not gonna freak out. It will turn up. And that's what I would say because Rihanna was freaking out. Because she couldn't find her weed vape and she was losing her mind. And I'm like, nothing is lost. You haven't left the house. It's been misplaced. Just wait. Where did she find it? In the dog bed. I'm like, what is it? But we've also got the big lump here. We've got Breezy here. He's Talia's dog. Well, so he's been hanging out here just because we had some issues with people in the yard and stuff too. And I was just done. I'm just done with having, I want something that's going to bark loud and deter people from coming into my yard and anywhere thinking that they might come into my house. I'm a little person. I've got a son. Yeah. My husband's away working. Yeah. No, you're not coming here. So now I have a 100-pound XL bully living here. I think that might deter people from coming into my house. I don't know what else to do. I've got cameras everywhere. It doesn't seem to deter them. I had a 12-year-old running around the backyard. I mean, I get the skunks. I can't do much about them. I hope to God he never runs into them. I don't want him to get sprayed, but yeah, I really don't want people coming into my yard. And we don't have a fence around the front. It's a huge corner lot. It would cost me lots of money that I don't have. I need a roof. I can't even afford to put a new roof on my house, which is really bad. And I can't fix it yeah, it's a nightmare. Anyway, that's my play. I got to somehow come up with a whole whack of money. Or somebody goes, well, win the lottery. You just need to play the lottery. Dude, I work in a store that we sell lottery. I can't buy lottery tickets from work. Anyway, and I don't go anywhere. I'm not going to go out of my way to go spend money on a lottery ticket that I know is never going to win. Like I'm just a realist. Like I see these people coming into my store and they're all acting like a bunch of gotta get my tickets. Gotta get my tickets. And they might win a free ticket, they might win $1. And all that does is tease people into thinking that maybe this next ticket, maybe this next ticket, maybe the next ticket. I watched my grandparents run for fucking lottery tickets my whole fucking life and listen to them talk to me about how when they won the lottery, they were going to do all these cool things for us. I never went to Disneyland. And now I can't cross the border. Never did any cool things. They never won a bunch of money. There was never a lot of money ever. Like we've always been like that family that worked from paycheck to paycheck. I don't ever remember having much of anything. I mean, my parents did the best they could. They gave us everything that they possibly could. Anything we asked for, if they could afford it, we got. We never starved. We never went without food. We never went without a shelter or anything like that. We didn't live in a car. My mom worked really hard, and my dad was unemployed a lot because it was hard back in those days, especially when he had worked long term for somebody and then turned 45. And back then it was hard to get a job at 45 because you were considered old. Anyways, my parents worked really hard. My grandfather was a salesman. My grandfather basically started out as a door-to-door salesman back after the war, and he couldn't go to war. So either you were a soldier back when my grandfather was a young man, or you were a door-to-door salesman because the economy sucked. And or you owned your own business, you were an entrepreneur. And my grandfather was a salesman, and he worked for Williams, so they worked hard to end up with a lot of nothing. And that's how we feel. My husband works hard, I work hard, we work really hard to end up with a lot of nothing. But then we have to think back that we're grateful for the fact that we have a roof over our head and we have vehicles and that we have, all these dogs and all these kids and all these things that we can feed ourselves. There's a lot of people that can't do that. So, and we can afford to go and keep ourselves in medicine, but there's a lot of people that can't afford that either. I think that's where we miss out on a lot of the compassion clubs in a lot of our community because we would share for nothing. Like if we had access, because a lot of us were growing a lot of, weed back then because we could divert it and help other people and do things that we can't do anymore, which again is okay. but it doesn't help other people. And we're still doing that. A lot of people are still doing that, where they're growing their cannabis out. They have their MMAR still because they haven't moved or up their licensing, and they're still doing that. And good for you guys. And I hope that you continue to do that. I wish I had the power in my house so that I could grow even more than 4 plants, because then I would worry about getting my licensing again. I don't have any licensing right now. My licensing would be for 20 grams a day, which is 98 plants. Alvin as well, 20 grams a day, 98 plants. We would be able to have more than enough to, can cover ourselves and help other people. But I don't have the power. I mean, I don't have really the room downstairs to grow 200 plants, to be fair. I just don't have that much room. And I'd love to, but when we were at the farm, we had the ability in the room, and here we don't. Well, I guess we didn't really have the room either. I mean, we just had a basement. I mean, the basement here is short. Like, it's only like 8 feet, I think. And the house in Coronation had a full basement, like where it was like a, 10-foot ceiling. So I actually had the ability to grow there. Whereas here, it's small. It's old dirt basement. This house is 100 years old. So yeah, it's not ideal for growing. I've got this huge lot, but I'm also right downtown. So, and I'm also broke all the time. There's never any money. And I don't see people banging my door down to invest. So there's that. Other than that, we're going to take a quick break here. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm only run 45. So I'm going to go a little early on the break. I run my commercial and thank our sponsors and pay some bills. And then we'll be back for another quick chit chat, and then I'm going to go so I can get this kid moving, because we have an appointment at 1 o'clock, and I'm not burning my tattoo guy off. My kid's going to get her ass up because she's still in bed, and we have to be there for 1 o'clock or just after. So be back in a flash.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
All right, and we are back. I'm just texting the kids and telling them, get ready, we got to get going. Get them moving, right? Because, yeah, I don't know. It's been good. It's cold, and yeah, I'm freezing sitting here. Brr. Anyways, I was puffing away on some Mrs. Limelighter, and it's a local out of, was it Limelight? Hang on a second, let me see what the name of this is. I think it's Limelighter, or Lightning. Hang on. What's it called? Lamplighter. That's what it is. Lamplighter. And it's local. It's from, it's out of Dakar, which is here locally in town. And this is a lychee. And we also bought some of their tiger eye. It's pretty good too. Miranda's liking that one. So I got her all set up too with a vape pen and all this stuff to make sure she's, being able to manage everything with just hopefully weed. But there's a little bit of, she's also taking some Suboxone. But the cannabis in her hand seems to help too, right? Which is where I'm kind of, making sure that there's access to that. She's got a vape pen, and also we've got cannabis, so she can smoke that whenever she needs to. But again, that's something that's a personal thing that our family's going through, and I'm just going to leave it at that. It's not even going through. It's just kind of been easier than I thought it would be, which is good. Anyways, but again, like I said, I'm going to cut the show a little short today because of the fact that we've got appointments, and I want to make sure that we're all lined up and ready to go. And I don't have a guest this week. I've been trying to get Corey Yellen on. Actually, I'd really like to talk to her because I see a lot of postings about all the success stories that they are having with RSO, with a lot of the people that she's been working with. And I'd like to get her on too. So if you're watching, lady, and anybody else too, if you're really interested in getting on and talking just about your story, like, how cannabis helps you, or if you know a patient that if you know a person that uses cannabis for medical or for therapeutic purposes, I don't want to put patient, because I've always said that too. And it's not like that's something new that all of a sudden Tamara's saying. Patient reminds me of somebody laying in a bed, and I don't want to picture that. I don't want to picture that cannabis is leaving us hooked up to wires in a bed. That's what patient to me means. I like to see us as functioning people that are using cannabis to accentuate the best part of our lives. And the fact that it, helps your day to day, or if it doesn't, it helps you sleep, I'm just, yeah, I just think there's so many benefits, and I just hate labeling stuff. I've always said that. I didn't want, even when I came to everybody's, oh, you need to get your medical licensing. I'm like, I don't know. That's a dog tag to me, the government, it's like, why, what do I need a tag? What do I need a license? It just, to me, it just, yeah. But again, that's where we're at. You do what you have to do to make sure that you're not going to end up incarcerated at the time. And that's where, my head was at. And that's the thing that kind of saved me with the whole, when I got popped in Tabor, because I had literally mailed out a whole lot. That was one package that went out that day, to be fair. I had sent out several other packages the same day that all made it through. And this one package didn't make it through. That was the 4 grams that I'd mailed out to Amy Brown. And, I was pretty blatant about it. I put a thank you card in there because she had sent me out some of her salve, because back then she was making creams and making edibles and all kinds of other cool stuff. And was kind of blatant about it. Put my business card in there, signed a card with my name on it. So when I went to court, or when I got busted though, I had gone to pick up an ounce that another patient had sent me at the post office, which was in the drugstore in Tabor. And they kind of were dragging their feet, because in the interim, they were phoning the police and having this all lined up. So when I left, I was going to get pulled over, right? And I did. That's what happened. I left the post office with that ounce of weed, and I got pulled over, and they were like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I was literally in my jammies and my flip-flops. wearing my medicinal shirt. And I'd just been on the TV a week before because I just got my license. So I told them I was a licensed patient, and they knew that, and I was being kind of blatant about it. And they handcuffed me and threw me in the back of a car. And I asked them if they would please go to my house and get my license because I thought I had it on me, and I didn't. It was actually laying on my desk in my office at the time. And Alan was home with the baby because Taven was a baby, and I had just gone to run to the post office. Anyway, the cop was nice enough. He goes, "Is Alvin going to give us any problems?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? No, go get my license." So they did. They actually did go and get it, which I was shocked because I thought, oh yeah, for sure they're just gonna fuck me over. But they did, and then they had to leave me sit there for 4.5 hours to figure out what the fuck to do with me because I had a license to possess cannabis. So they decided to charge me with trafficking for 4 grams of marijuana. And I walked out of the Tabor police station with that ounce of weed, minus 1 gram that they took out for testing. Seriously. So then when I went to court, I took in all the rulings and said, hey, I want to stay with proceedings. And the Crown looked at me and he laughed. He goes, no, Tamara. He goes, they're looking at 2. They want 2 years less for you. Because I had possession charges. I had other drug charges before. I had priors, right? I looked at him and I went, I have an 18-month-old baby. Like, he goes, well, here's the deal. You got no defense. We have all this evidence, and you know this because they'd given me my disclosure, and I had everything in there, right? That I pretty much had admitted that I'd mailed it to the cop when he says, oh, you know Amy Brown? Oh, yeah, she's my friend. Like, he goes, so you mailed this package to her? I go, probably. And they had it all recorded in their room, and I should have kept my mouth shut, right? But again, my signature, I had no defense. So they offered me this, 6 months house arrest, and I took it. Yeah, anyway. Forever stained. And that's trauma. Like, that is something that I will never, ever, ever, ever live down. That I did 6 months house arrest for fucking 4 grams of weed. Because that means I was pretty much incarcerated, right? Which means I could never leave the country to go live anywhere else in the world. That means I'm stuck in Canada forever, right? That's what that means. Even if I don't want to be here. I'm not saying I don't, but it's fucking cold and I'd like to be able to go live somewhere warm. And neither one of us could ever leave the country to be a permanent resident or a resident anywhere else in the world because we have indictable offenses on our records that never go away, even with a pardon. Yeah. Anyways, I'm freezing to death. I'm going to call this show short, like I said before, because I've got to get my daughter up and get moving. And I'll be on tonight with Al because we have Pace tonight. So I will see you all again at 6 o'clock. But you'll have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all later. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to check out our sponsors. They're awesome. And I'll see you next week. And like I said, I'm going to keep bugging my friends here and see if I can find a guest that I can dig out of the grave somewhere. Like I did last week with Michelle Rainey. You have a good week. Take care, everybody. Bye.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.